Hello and welcome to this very special show. This is Mastercard Presents Times Network Living Room Conclave India Financial Series. Now we're in for a very special discussion. The topic of today's episode is unlocking the opportunity of inbound tourism. Now, who doesn't love to travel? And the last 2 years, well, it will be an understatement to say that it has changed every industry. It has obviously impacted and changed the tourism industry a lot. But what's the way ahead? We're all getting out of the pandemic. We should be back to, I mean, we're almost back to normal, but we should be back to fully normal very soon. We're all hoping for that. But let's find out more about the tourism industry and specifically what's happening in the inbound tourism space. For that, I'm joined by a panel of experts. Allow me to introduce them. We have Mr. Avinash Mishra, advisor in tourism and culture with the Niti Aayog. We have Mukul Sukhani, the Senior VP South Asia at Mastercard. We have Jyoti Mayal, President, Travel Agents Association of India, or TAAI. And we have Prahlad Krishnamurthy, Chief Business Officer, ClearTrip. Ma'am, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here today. Let's kickstart things. Ms. Mayal, ma'am, coming to you, how do you see India providing a changed experience to these tourists who are coming in from overseas?
Thank you, Sumit, and thank you, Times Network, for having us here. I think it's a wonderful decision to take this forward. Just to say that what Avinash said, that travel and tourism GDP is actually set to grow on an average of 5.8% annually. And that's the prediction we have between 22 and 32. So we are going to really outpace the growth of the overall economy, which is like 2.7% per year. And, we are, what more actually according to the growth is that the worst thing that was affected were the jobs, and I think 126 million jobs are going to be coming back by the next decade, which is the wonderful news that we all get to hear. But coming back to the India and the resurgent in India, what you talk about and the experiences, I would say the wanderlust that actually fueled the travel and tourism sector remains. We call it revenge travel, which I am just against that word, and we've been calling that since 2 years. I don't call it revenge because revenge is a very negative word and it just doesn't go with tourism. So I think I would say that the wanderlust that we have in our hearts is what is going to be fueling the travel and tourism going forward. And travelers are desperate to explore, and the sector is more than eager to welcome them back and facilitate incredible experiences. And the new resurgent India, what we talk about on time and occasion, has actually offered lifetime and memorable experiences all this time. It's just that we never appreciated the same. We came to know about domestic travel when we didn't have any opportunity to travel outbound. And that's the time we started realizing there's a lot into our country. And now that we have actually experienced it, we know how to sell it to the inbound, So I think that is the main crux of the whole thing, which COVID, like I always say, crisis does bring opportunities. And that's the largest opportunity India could have availed and got. Going forward, I think the demographic has totally changed. The perception has changed of a traveler. And India continues to offer all the best. We have multi-cuisine, like Avinash said, heritage, culture, of course. We have the biggest seller, which is today, which is wellness, yoga, and people who were not wanting to go into the wilderness and the national parks of India are now very keen to explore those opportunities also because they feel that is what is needed today. Then, of course, we have the festivities like we have all the festivities like Diwali, Durga Puja, Holi. All these things need to be actually coming into a highlight to be explored. And that is what the expats and the inbound is looking for, because they need to reconnect. And the NRIs and the diaspora needs to reconnect. But the foreign traveler needs to connect. And this is the best thing that we can give them. So there is a huge offering where rural tourism is confirmed, caravan is concerned. Of course, we are lacking in some aspects, and that is what we need to correct. And we need to rebuild on our strengths going forward. And one thing which I always say, that India lost an opportunity to be the largest hub of this country, of this area. Because it was a huge opportunity for, like other countries have taken it forward, like Singapore, Dubai. We could have been the largest hub with layovers or one-day overs, break journeys in India. But this is a time, as we all start again businesses, that we need to create these hubs, both in aviation and tourism. Because I think we have a huge time frame now, and we can catch up on the entire thing. So there's a huge thing that can come out of the entire COVID.
Ms. Mayal, coming to you, Mr. Mishra has also spoken about these amazing initiatives being taken by the ministry and by the government. But recently, the Ministry of Tourism also set up the National Digital Tourism Mission. Just wanting to get your thoughts on that, ma'am, of the idea of digitalization, the impact of that on tourism. How are you seeing it?
Sumit, TAAI has been very active in all these deliberation and formation of policies has been concerned with Ministry of Tourism, Aviation, and all our other ministries. But especially all the policies that are coming into place. It could be the National Tourism Policy, it could be the Adventure Policy, it could be the Sustainable, Rural, MICE, all that are coming out. TAAI has a great input to be always on the platform to be discussing this. As a matter of fact, if you read the National Digitization Policy, our name is quoted there and our inputs are there too. So digitization in the tourism sector, I would say, presents a huge opportunity where tourism is concerned. And today, again, I'm going to say this, that COVID has taught us what digitization is. Staying locked at home for more than 2 years, literally, we all started moving on digitization and how we were in connect with each other. And if today Clear Trip says or Make My Trip says or anyone says we are an OTA, I would just say that no, every travel agent today is an OTA because he is working online. How you actually differentiate between the OTA and a small agent is a different issue, but we are all OTAs today. So what does digitization really bring? I would say it really improves on the operational efficiencies. Of course, it will sharpen everyone's competitive edge because that is what is very important. But at a collective level, it will also help to develop and customize products and offerings because that is very, very important today when you see the new traveler. Because the new traveler is the millennium, it's millennial travel, it's the Gen Z, Gen X, whatever you call them, they are just on digitization. But something when we go beyond the normal thought process of digitization, when we say, Acha, we are doing bookings on digitization, we are looking at, live inventories, how we can innovate, how we can, unlock what is digitization, there's something which goes beyond. Today, data analysis is very important, SWOT analysis is very important. And somehow these are the things which we lack. We have been lacking, but I'm sure with these policies coming in, we will get to see more of those. Because if you actually search on Google also, you will find the records of 2016, 2017, but nothing prevailing to today, that what is today happening in numbers. So all this will bring you live, absolutely live data on board. And that is very important to plan what your future looks like. And I would say that because that is very, very important. Tourism, as we all know, is a very complex ecosystem. We have a huge value chain with multiple service providers, right from the rickshawala or the craft guy, right to the ticketing person or the tour operators. So I think there has to be a lot of strength coming into these, and we need to join the dots to make it a very strong link. And that is what is required from the government and private stakeholders.
Super. Thank you, Prahlad. Thank you, Mukul. Thank you, Mr. Mishra. It's been an absolute pleasure interacting with you on this panel. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being on the panel. Thank you to the viewers. I hope you've taken back a lot from this conversation. This has been our special episode, Mastercard Presents Times Network Living Room Conclave India Financial Series, where we were talking about unlocking opportunities in inbound tourism. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk about so many things. The important thing is it's not about revenge travel. It's a celebration of travel, and India is ready with open arms to welcome all the tourists who are coming in. Thank you so much for watching.